Chosen one, this is about your son. Everything changes soon. You may have already felt the stirrings in your spirit. You may have sensed that something sacred, something eternal is quietly forming around someone you love deeply, your son. There's a divine motion in progress, and it is touching his life in ways the world cannot fully see yet. This message is more than information. It is a preparation, a sacred announcement that the timing of heaven is in full swing concerning him. What is forming will bring transformation not only for him but for generations that will rise from him. The light that has been carefully kept, guarded in silence and mystery, is about to shine forth. The energy in his life is no longer stagnant. It's stirring, it's shifting. And soon it will erupt into undeniable change. Stay with this message until the end and write your warmest wishes and the number 99 in the comments. This act of alignment opens a powerful door. It releases faith into the universe and sets a signal that your wishes are now in motion. This video is more than words. It is a spiritual experience. Allow your energy to connect with it fully and let your intentions rise to meet the moment. Now, chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. And let's begin. The shift coming into your son's life is not random. It has been orchestrated long before he even took his first breath. You see, the chosen ones carry a lineage of purpose. And sometimes that purpose flows silently through generations until it reaches the one who has been marked to fulfill it. Your son has been touched by this mark. Even when you weren't sure of the path he would take, even when he seemed to stray or drift, the higher plan remained unshaken. He was never alone. His story was never disconnected. It was being formed layer by layer through divine silence and invisible battles. There were times you may have worried, questioned, or even cried in secret over his path. Maybe you felt helpless as you watched him face trials you couldn't shield him from. But let me tell you something courageous. Your concern was never wasted. Your love has been part of the divine blueprint. Every tear, every silent prayer, every hope you whispered into the night has been collected like sacred rain and stored in heaven's vault. That time is now approaching when those stored hopes will rain down in visible transformation. Your son is stepping into a space where heaven will interrupt his life, where divine hands will reach into the fabric of his existence and rearrange everything for the better. It won't look ordinary. It won't be explainable by logic alone.
This
change is not a result of external work, but of divine activation. God has watched over him even when you couldn't. There were moments he didn't even understand the reason he was being preserved. He didn't know that angels were moving, holding him back from danger, guiding him gently toward alignment. The truth is, his life was protected for this very moment. And now the heavens are beginning to speak loudly in his direction. You'll notice it through his decisions, through his sudden clarity, through the way certain doors will close for him, not to harm him, but to reroute him toward the real path. And he will begin to hear things in his spirit he never used to hear. He'll feel guided in ways he never acknowledged before. This is the divine touch awakening him. It's like something that was once buried is being unearthed within him. And what's going to discover is a strength, a wisdom, and a vision that has been waiting for the right moment to arise. Your son may not understand all of it yet, but that doesn't matter because this isn't about full comprehension. It's about surrender. It's about the divine stepping in where a confusion once sat. It's about the winds of change blowing away every residue of delay, stagnation, and misdirection. He may have wandered, but now purpose is finding him. He may have felt lost, but now light is guiding him. He may have doubted himself, but now divine confidence is awakening. There are forces that thought they could delay him permanently. There were battles sent against him in secret. Generation Alpaters, spiritual confusion, identity attacks, but none of them have prevailed. They only delayed the inevitable. And now the inevitable is beginning to manifest. The shift is coming fast. It is like a river that has been dammed for years suddenly breaking loose. The energy is unstoppable, the timing undeniable. This moment is not just about your son's external change. It's about his internal awakening. He's being called out of spiritual slumber. He is being invited to step into a role that was crafted for him before time began. He is not random, he is not average. He is marked. And the calling that once seemed dormant is now being activated like fire under the surface. You'll see it in his posture, you'll hear it in his voice. You'll sense it in his presence. The one who once seemed uncertain will begin to radiate quiet strength. The one who also doubted will begin to speak with wisdom that shocks even him. Something sacred is unlocking inside him, and it will not be hidden for much longer. Don't be surprised if he starts distancing himself from what no longer resonates with his spirit. The old environments, the old cycles, the old relationships, they're losing their grip on him. What once entertained him will bore him. What once distracted him will fall away. This is a holy detachment, a sign that elevation is near. Do not fear this shift. Embrace it. Support it. Bless it, because he is shedding what he no longer needs to. Make room for what is destined to come. There may be tension. There may be misunderstandings. There may even be moments where you don't recognize his process. But trust it because it's divinely led. He's being prepared for a new assignment, and not everyone will understand this transition. It's not meant for everyone to understand. It's meant to be fulfilled. His transformation will speak louder than any explanation ever could. Your son is entering a sacred corridor, and once he walks through it, he will not be the same. The veil is thinning. Heaven is closer than it's ever been to his life. The destiny that's been circling him is now ready to land. His name is known in heavenly places. His footsteps are being guided by the unseen. The change is not coming. It's already in motion. You may be witnessing the beginning stages now. A shift in how he sees himself. A shift in how others see him. A hunger in his soul that wasn't there for. These are not random signs. These are confirmations. The Spirit is preparing to speak to him more clearly. The signs will increase. The alignment will intensify. And as this happens, he will begin to walk with a power that was always his, but never fully accessed until now. Keep watching. Keep speaking life over him. Keep blessing his name in prayer. The waves of transformation are not only surrounding him, they're beginning to carry him forward. And when he rises into the fullness of this divine shift, everything around him will begin to respond. The right people will appear. The right opportunities will open. The path that once seemed unclear will light up. Everything will begin to move in his favor. Everything will begin to align. This is just the beginning of a divine journey for your son. You will see the hand of God move mightily in his life. It won't be subtle. It will be undeniable.
The delays
have expired. The wilderness has ended. The promise is unfolding, and nothing will be able to stop what is coming next. Not even him. The transformation is not coming soon. It has already begun. What you must understand now is that your son's change is not only about personal growth, it is about a divine role. He is stepping into a role that will echo through generations. There is a mantle that has been quietly forming over his life even when he did not feel worthy of it. That mantle isn't man-made, and it cannot be removed by earthly forces. It is heaven-issued, and the weight of that calling is what he has been unknowingly carrying through every season of confusion, rebellion, and silence. This is the season where the burden begins to make sense. He is about to understand why the journey felt so intense. Why his path looked so different. Why he couldn't fit into the mold that others tried to place on him. There were moments when he tried to conform, to blend in, to minimize himself. But chosen ones cannot hide for long. Their essence eventually breaks through, no matter how deep they bury it. The divine fire always rises. It may flicker under pressure, but it never dies out. And now that fire in him is becoming undeniable. This isn't just a personal journey. It's prophetic. Your son carries something for this time. Something the world needs. And their assistance he's faced up until now has been directly connected to that divine potential. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't a threat. Every distraction, every delay, every battle was sent, not because he was weak, but because he was dangerous to darkness. But the good news is he survived, he endured. And now the reward of survival is transformation. There is a new clarity about to rest upon his mind. What was once fog will become focus. What once felt chaotic will suddenly begin to align. He will start to crave silence, not to withdraw, but to listen because his spirit is becoming more sensitive. The whispers of divine instruction will begin to guide him more strongly than ever. He may not always explain it. He may not always talk about it, but something deep within him is being rewired. And you, chosen one, have been strategically placed to witness this process. Not just as apparent, but as a guidepost, as a spiritual protector. Your presence in his life is not accidental. Your role is sacred. Even if you've doubted your influence, even if you've questioned your timing or choices, heaven sees your efforts. And heaven has assigned you as part of his spiritual development. Don't underestimate your value. Your strength helped form the environment his destiny is now awakening in. There will come a moment sooner than you think when he will begin to ask deeper questions. Don't rush to answer them all. Simply hold space. Let the Spirit do what only the Spirit can do. His growth won't come through force. It will come through revelation. And revelation doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs are born in moments of quiet recognition. He will begin to see life through new lenses. He will discern people differently. He will feel weight. In his conversations, his joy will return, but not the kind of joy tied to external things. This joy will be rooted in purpose, in alignment, in knowing he is walking in something bigger than himself. He will begin to understand the power of his name, the meaning of his presence, the energy of his voice, and there will be proof. Watch for how the old connections begin to fall away naturally. Not through drama, not through bitterness, but through divine detachment. The energy that no longer matches his future will start to repel itself from his space. Let it happen. Don't cling to what heaven is removing. He must be surrounded by clarity now. His space must be prepared for destiny to breathe. In this shift, even his physical presence will change. He may begin to carry himself with more confidence, no arrogance, confidence, a sacred knowing. His spirit is remembering who he is. And when someone remembers who they are, they stop tolerating who they are not. He will no longer settle. He will no longer compromise. The distractions Thetans tempted him will lose their power. Because when purpose calls, every imitation becomes obvious. He may still stumble, but the difference now is that grace will lift him faster. There will be divine acceleration. Even the mistakes will become lessons. And those lessons will turn into tools for leadership. Because make no mistake, your son is being prepared for leadership. Maybe not in the traditional sense, maybe not with titles or stages, but his life will lead. His transformation will speak, his obedience will ripple. He is becoming a living message. The old battles he faced are not returning. The cycles he fought so hard to break. He's finally walking away from them. You don't have to remind him of the past. He remembers, but now he is excusing differently. Not because someone told him to, but because the voice within him is growing. Stronger. That voice is not yours, not his friends, not society's. It's divine. It's the Creator calling him by his real name. There is a blessing coming that only fits him now. It couldn't come before because he wasn't ready to carry it. But his maturity is unlocking it, his hunger is attracting it.
His energies
aligning with it. And when it comes, it will change not just his life, but yours too. Because everything connected to him will feel the impact. That blessing is generational. The reward is collective. The change is not temporary. It is the beginning of a lifelong becoming. Even in moments of silence, know this. Your son is being watched over, protected, led. You are not raising him alone. Heaven is involved, angels are assigned, grace is covering. The divine is deeply invested in his unfolding. Hold your head high. You're not losing him to the world. You are witnessing him being reclaimed by purpose. There comes a time in every chosen one's life when the silence breaks. Not because the noise around them got louder, but because their soul got still enough to listen. Your son is arriving at that sacred stillness. It is subtle and maybe even invisible to others. But within him, a holy dialogue is taking place. 1. Between the destiny he carries and the identity he's starting to embrace, and when those two parts align, destiny and identity, transformation become experiment. He has outgrown the version of himself that was shaped by fear, doubt, and external pressure. That version was necessary for a season. It helped him survive, learn, and adapt. But now that version no longer holds the capacity for where he's going. It can't hold the wisdom, the strength, or the responsibility coming into his life. So don't be alarmed if you notice him shedding behaviors, patterns, or even relationships that once defined him. That is not rebellion. It's elevation. There is a deep restructuring happening within him. He's not trying to impress anymore. He's not living for validation. He's seeking some witnessing a divine unveiling. A slow but steady emergence of identity, purpose, and wisdom that was hidden beneath years of confusion, pressure, and societal conditioning. Everything is being stripped back to the essence. And what's being revealed is not just a new chapter. It's a whole new creation. Your son was born with something sacred in him. A knowing, a spark, a spiritual inheritance that couldn't be touched by trauma, delay, or even disobedience. Even in his most distant seasons, that divine seed inside him was never uprooted. It just waited. It waited through rebellion, through silence, through searching, through trial. That seed is eternal. And now it's beginning to bloom in a way that will shake every corner of his life. This blooming may not be loud at first. It may look like stillness, like him withdrawing, like him spending time alone, but don't mistake silence for stagnation. In this divine process, stillness is strength. Isolation is incubation.
He is in a spiritual womb again, no regressing, but being reborn. His thoughts are being rewired.
His beliefs are being broken and rebuilt. His values are being clarified. And the blueprint for his future is being downloaded while the rest of the world sleeps. There is sacred software being installed in his spirit. A new code, a divine language, a deeper understanding why he's here. And as this process unfolds, things will fall off of him. Things that once defined him, things that used to hold his attention, they will simply fade. They won't feel right anymore. And this won't be because he's trying to be someone new. It will be because he's finally remembering who he's always been. This is a return to self, a return to source, a return to sacred identity. The one who once looked outside for answers is now looking within. The one who used to chase approval is now choosing alignment. The one who used to be led by emotion is now listening to divine instruction, and it's happening fast. Not because he's rushing, but because the time is right. The appointed season has arrived, and heaven is no longer delaying what has already been decided. And with this arrival comes a breaking, not a breakdown. A breakthrough. There's a difference. A breakdown is when the pressure of the world causes someone to collapse. But a breakthrough, that's when the pressure of purpose causes someone to rise. Your son is breaking through, and it will feel like pressure at first. His life may feel tight, things may start to close in. Old options will disappear, comfortable paths will vanish. But that is not punishment, it's preparation. He's being forced into alignment. Because when destiny pulls, comfort must be left behind. And this pressure will refine him. It will crush the unnecessary, it will humble the ego. It will destroy theories, and in its place authenticity will emerge. Purity will rise, purpose will stabilize. This pressure is a gift because it's carving out space inside Ophim for something far greater than anything he's experienced before. Something eternal, something holy, something that will define him for the rest of his life. And while the world may not understand this transformation, heaven does. Heaven has been waiting for this moment. Heaven has been protecting it, nurturing it, guarding it until it was safe to release. And now the gates are open. The light is breaking through, and your son is beginning to carry the presence of someone who's been marked by the divine. You'll begin to notice a spiritual weight in his presence. People will begin to sense something different about him. Not because he's trying to be deep or mysterious, but because his spirit is changing frequencies. He's tuning into the voice within. And when someone tunes into that voice, everything changes. They don't just speak differently, they think differently, they walk differently, they breathe differently. And that difference will become his new normal. But don't be surprised if this change attracts both favor and resistance. That's how elevation works. Favor comes first. New opportunities will start presenting themselves. Unexpected favor will find him. Doors that were locked will begin to creak open. Conversations will lead to transformation. Divine connections will be drawn to his new energy. But along with that favor, resistance will rise too. Why? Because every time light grows stronger, darkness gets desperate. And the very forces that once tried to delay him will make one last attempt to distract him. That's why this is a critical moment, not just for him, but for you too. You must be watchful, not anxious, but spiritually alert. Because he's standing on holy ground now, he's walking into his real assignment. And the enemy of his purpose knows that I fully steps into it. Nothing will be able to stop the ripple effect he'll. 'Cause your son is not just called for himself. He's a carrier of change, a messenger, a reformer, a restorer. His life will influence others whether he tries to or not. And that's why you must continue to bless him, to cover him, to speak life over him even when you don't understand what he's doing. You may not have all the answers. You may not be able to guide every step. But your presence, your love, your unwavering belief in who he's becoming, these things are his anchor. Your prayers are his shield. Your faith is his reminder, and one day, soon he will thank you for it. He may not have the words now. He may still be walking through the fog, but there will come a moment, clear, unmistakable, when he turns and sees what you saw in him all along. And he will carry that gratitude for life, not just as emotion, but as a mantle, as a legacy, as proof that love does not return void. Everything is changing. The internal shift is becoming external. Depravate transformation is about to become public revelation. He is not online changing, he's evolving. And evolution always leads to elevation. Do not be afraid of how fast this happens. The delay has ended. The green light has been given. The unseen hand of God is now placing him where he belongs. Pulling him into rooms where his name was already known, where his spirit was already recognized, where his future has already been prepared. And soon you won't just say, "That's my son." You'll say, "That's the one heaven sent through for such a time as this." What is happening in your son's life is not merely for this present moment.
It is
A generational pivot, a turning point, a sacred reset. The lineage behind him, the ancestors before him, the promises that were made long before either of you were born, they're all converging now in this season of change. There's a divine correction taking place through him. Cycles are being interrupted. Old chains are being broken. What once traveled through the bloodline ends with him. He is becoming the bridge between what was and what must be. This is why the pressure was so intense. Why the warfare was so strategic. Why the opposition wasn't just personal. It was generational. The enemy was never just after his joy. It was after his legacy, his future family, his impact, his calling. And deep down, whether he was aware of it or not, he has always carried the weight of 1,000 untold stories. Stories of silence, stories of survival, stories that demanded someone in the line stand up and say, "It ends with me," that someone is him. And because of that, the heavens are backing him with a power that can't be explained. That's why you've seen sudden changes. That's why old distractions are losing their grip. That's why he's been feeling internally restless. Because the heavens are stirring him out of delay, out of denial, out of the illusion that he's just another person. No, he is a chosen one in this generation. And the transformation happening in him is the beginning of something eternal. This is not just about his future. It's about the restoration of a divine narrative. There were promises made to your lineage, dreams spoken in quiet prayers by those who came before you. Some never saw those prayers answered, but they never died. They hovered, they waited, and now they've landed on your sin. That's why you felt a sense of mystery around his life. A weight you couldn't describe. A knowing that he was always set apart. You weren't imagining it, you were discerning it. And now what was spiritual is becoming visible. He will begin to walk differently through the world, not arrogantly but purposefully. He may not know all the details. He may not be able to explain what's pulling him forward. But there will be a quiet conviction in him that can't be shaken.